Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is Caernarvon. It's the Tier 8 British heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Redshire, and this one is under the command of KirkWAHmett. We'll just call him Kirk, shall we? Game started. Well, the Caernarvon, it's a project that was started during the Second World War. Two projects were started actually, at A41, which became the Centurion tank, and the 845, which became the Caernarvon, and it was basically an infantry support tank, so it's a heavy tank as such, and it was intended by the end of the war to be the counter to the IS-3. Now this one is armed with a 32 pounder gun and is actually capable of doing 280 alpha, penetrating 252mm of armour with standard APCR, and you can see that Kirk has actually loaded nothing but APCR and also HE, and the reason for that is he's trying to get his third mark of excellence. He's already got 2 marks on the barrel, you can just about make them out there, and he needs that third mark. Let's hope that that lucky clover on his turret gives him the luck he needs to get this victory. Now this tank does have 10 degrees of gun depression and fairly thick armour as well on the front, and in fact it was designed to be part of the Universal Tank series, the FB200 series of tanks. And one of those tanks was the FB201, which was a 55-ton tank. This one is a 64-ton tank with fairly heavy armour as well. He's trying to get shots on that 112 and the T29. Yep, the 112 exposed himself long enough to get a shot in, and he can't use his gun depression, and he gets a lovely lower plate shot into the T29. Now the 32 pounder gun on this tank is actually a matter of fiction, because the real tank actually had a 120mm gun, which would do far more damage than the 32 pounder you're seeing here. He got a 309 hit point hit off the last shot. Now he's picked up 278. One more shot will just finish him off. Yep, T29 gone. Now he's using a lovely bit of gun depression here, right into the cupola of the 112. And the T29's been replaced by KV-1S. Well, that guy doesn't stand a chance against the 32 pounder. As I said, the real tank had a 120mm. He'd do even more damage, but the 32 pounder is still fantastic with a rate of fire. It's got a really fast rate of fire. The standard reload is 6.29 seconds, and I think you can see here that Kirk has actually got 5.25 seconds per shot. That's really fast. Gets a lovely shot in there on the Barask, 279. And well, they've almost finished on all the enemy tanks. He's potentially got 20% of the enemy hit pool, might have a high caliber. Tries to get a shot on the 112, but he can't get it onto the cupola. He's trying to miss the front of that tank, but he doesn't want to get the mantlet, but he does want to get that cupola if he can. There you go. Oh yes, got it this time. One more shot and that guy's out. KV-1S tries a shot but couldn't get it in. Kirk's decided to push on now. Nope, didn't get that one, but he should get him now when he gets up close. Now the Caernarvon was never put into operational use. In fact, although they built 21 tanks, they actually converted most of them into Conquerors. And he's got the 112. Now can he finish off this KV-1S? He's trying to shovel the tanks to one side. Just shows the power of this tank. He's basically pushing the Barask as if it's extra armour. There goes the KV-1S. That's 3 kills he's managed to get so far. He's only lost a very, very few hit points during that engagement. Okay, he's pushing on down, but his team are down to just 4 tanks now, and it's mostly him that's making the effort. Oh, Wizzy 121 GFT. Can he get another shot into that guy? Yep, lower plate as well, 261. The Wizzy is now looking... Oh, he's actually looking at our P44 teammate. That's what he's looking at. Can he get a kill shot? Nope, didn't get a kill shot, but he did get a nice bit of damage, 277. There's the kill. Okay, so another kill, that takes it up to 4. But there's now, well, there's still 6 tanks against them. He's potentially got the high caliber, as I said, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. And he's still got most of his hit points as well. Now, as you can see, it's not particularly a fast tank, but it is very, very heavy, so the engine's being overworked. 34.3 kilometers an hour is the maximum top speed. So it is slow, but it is very, very good at what it does as a heavy tank. Well, it looks to me like most of the enemy are in the south now, and they're down to 3 tanks. We look at the tank types. We've got a Pantera, who was with us but dashed back to try and save the M44, and they're holding up on the east side of the river. Now, although it's got an insane rate of fire, a reasonable pen, good accuracy on the move, and fantastic gun depression at 10 degrees, and of course great DPM as well, it does have some problems. The Caernarvon actually had a fairly weak lower plate, had a slow traverse because it was so heavy, and it's also had an ammo rack which was fairly weak, so it's prone to getting ammo racked. Oh, just got hit by the Super Hellcat, and that was an HE round. He fired back along the line of fire, but I'm not sure he actually did any damage to the guy. Couldn't see him. I think the Hellcat's firing his HE rounds because he knows he can't pen with standard AP. The armor's just too strong for him to get at, unless of course he can get a lower plate shot. Now, as I said, some of the Caernarvons were actually converted into Conqueror tanks eventually, and the Conqueror tank was accepted into British use. There's the Super Hellcat, you're about to die. Oh, didn't get that one in. Should be able to get the next one. Kill shot. Yes, got him. That's his 5th kill. One more to get a Top Gun. Unfortunately, we lost the M44, so he's now desperately trying to hold on. The P44 did a good job. He's trying to take out the Tiger now. It's got a lower plate of the Tiger there. That's good. The auto aimed on. Get one more shot to kill him. Yep, got him. That's his Top Gun. And unfortunately, the Pantera did get killed, unfortunately. So now he's alone facing a T-34-1 and an AMX-13F3. And there's the AMX-13F3. He's actually behind him. Okay, he's off again. So the T-34-1, the Chinese medium tank, not related to the Soviet T-34. It's actually basically a copy of a T-54, not a T-34. And he's somewhere down in this area, or at least he was when he was last seen. He may have moved, and he may have skedaddled back to the north to try and stop the Caernarvon from getting to his cap area. Of course, he probably doesn't want to get taken out either, because if he does come across the Caernarvon, he's definitely going to come off worse, because of course he doesn't really have the armor to take this guy down. In fact, the only player on the battlefield who could reliably penetrate the Caernarvon is the AMX-13F3. There's the T-34. He didn't go north, which is a big mistake, because now he's going to die. Yep, and the AMX-13F3 makes his annoyance known by tracking Kirk and hitting him for 327 hit points, and now he is a one-shot for the AMX-13F3, which is capable of doing 700 alpha if he can get a shot on target and pen. Of course, even if he doesn't pen, he's still going to do a lot of damage and potentially take out Kirk with one shot. But Kirk's now on 7 kills, and that means he's potentially on for a Radley Waters. Let's see if that lucky clover really pays off for him. Now, I must say, it would have been rather interesting if they had actually mounted the 120mm gun on this tank, because you do see a lot of tanks in the game at tier 8 with 120mm, and then they have 400 alpha, but of course this is only 280 alpha. Those bumps, they really upset lighter tanks. I don't think the pardon me, I don't think the AMX-13F3 knows where he is, because he's being very careful not to knock down any scenery. And so the AMX-13F3 may be moving, maybe on the move already, and he might be trying to get to the other cap, to be at the other end of the map when the Caernarvon arrives at his end. If I was in the AMX-13F3, that's what I would certainly do. Let's see if he knows what the SPG, the P in SPG means. Getting incredibly slow going up slopes because it's so heavy. It's a really solid tank, lots of armour. Well, he poked over the edge just to see if his sixth sense went off, and it didn't. So we know the AMX-13F3 didn't see him. And knocking that tree down might make the AMX-13F3 look in this direction. Still no sign. He hasn't got a whole lot of time left. He really does need to do one quick check in the areas where the AMX-13F3 is likely to be, and that's in the corner and then in the copse. So if he drives up to the corner, has a quick look, and then drives through the copse to the cap area, has that Arty moved? He is one of the quicker Artys in the game because he's based on the AMX 13-ton tank, so he should have moved. It would have been very bad for him to stay where he is, and there's no sign of him so far. Is he in this dip? No sign yet. Okay, he's got enough time to get into the cap then, to win this one for his team. Of course, if he does get hit, he'll have a general idea where the AMX-13F3 is located. And then he might be able to find him and go off and kill him and leave the cap. Of course, this game is from 2020. So, in fact, May of 2020. So there's no heavy tracers, and you can't actually see where the Arty is located. Still no sign. If the Arty player is really brave, he might actually try to shotgun the Caernarvon. Not a great idea, but he might actually, he could possibly win if he could do that. He'd need to be accurate. Well, he fired one round at the building, obviously trying to think that that's where Kirk would actually go, but of course he's not there. And Kirk wouldn't sit next to that position because he knows full well that if he sits there, that's going to be the first place that the enemy tries. So it's about 25 seconds for a shot. Should be almost loaded. We're in the last minute. He's having a look round. It'd be really nice if that enemy came back, because it means he might be able to get a Radley's out of it. Oh, he's been found! There he is! He's coming! One shot wins the game! Although the Arty did get a reset, which actually gives him a defender. But he gets his Radleys with that shot. What a fantastic game. And here's the end of battle result. And yes, he did it. He got his third mark of excellence with that game. He got an ace tanker. He also picked up a Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemies, a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, he managed to get 16, a Duelist for taking down 2 tanks who actually damaged him, and a Fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. He got an epic medal. He got the Radley Waters for killing 8 enemy tanks, the last one being that AMX-13F3 who really didn't have to try and come back the way he did. He might have been able to see him from that tree on the ridge line, but in actual fact he had to get a bit closer, and as a consequence he got spotted and taken out. He also picked up a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. What a superb game it was, and thank goodness that I actually managed to get the clients to work, because virtually every client I've got, and I've got quite a few for the 1.9 update, actually failed. But I finally found a client that did work and managed to record this video. So good job that I actually had enough of them. Let's have a look at team score. 6,292 hit points. He monstered that game. The highest person who got close to him was a Wizzy1201G who managed to get 2,558. The next highest after that was the 112 who managed 2,166. So nearly 3 times their damage, or at least twice anyway. When it came to kills, he had 8 kills. The next highest being the 112 had 3. And then 2 kills for the Pantera, the Wizzy120, the Tiger 1 and the P43 Biz. When it came to base XP, he was the only player to get over 1,000, 1,869, which is a high score for the Caernarvon. He also got the next highest score was the KV2, so you can see how the difference between Kirk and him. 690 XP, that's all he managed to get, and 685 for the P43 Tur. So he did a good game, but nowhere near as good as Kirk's game. He fired 33 rounds in that game, got 27 direct hits and 26 penetrations. Damage of 6,292 hit points, all of it at close than 300 meters. He received 11 hits from the enemy. Only 2 of them actually penetrated, 5 non-penetrations and 8 hits by way of splash damage. And of course that AMX-13F3 did very well to hang on as long as he did. And he did do substantial damage to Kirk during that battle. I think if we check his data, we can see, yes, he did get a Defender medal from that game. If we look at the rest of it, we can see that he block damage of 1,040 hit points in total. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 8, did 920 hit points of damage assistance. And he got 4 capture points in the cap because after he killed the AMX-13F3, that's all that was left because the AMX-13F3 had wiped out the rest from the defense points. Now he earned 63,295 credits from the game, but he did fire nothing but APCR throughout the entire battle, and as a consequence of that, yes, he did end up with a fairly large loss of 84,832 credits, and I don't think he'll worry about that in the slightest, because it's worth it to pay that much just to get that third mark. 1,869 XP, 2,804 taken away altogether, but what he did take was a third mark on his barrel, and now he is the very master at the Caernarvon. All he can do now is take it up to 100%, and that shouldn't be too much of a problem if Kirk keeps playing the way he does. So what a fantastic battle for Kirk, and thank you very much indeed for sending in this replay. I'm so sorry that it's taken so long for me to get around to it, but I'm afraid there were so many replays lined up ahead of you, and so I finally got around to this one. As with all of them, if somebody sends me a replay, it will be in the list. I do log them. I will get around to them eventually, so do hang on because it will appear sooner or later and you will see it on the channel. I hope you enjoyed that replay, and if you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.